A 911 call early this morning alerted officials of the fire. A resident in an apartment located at 118.5 Center Street called dispatchers at 1:49 a.m. reporting thick smoke in the hallway. The billowing smoke and the night's darkness made it difficult to take in the full scope of the fire, but dawn's first light unveiled the devastation. Winona Fire Chief Kurt Biddle said his firefighters were on the scene just minutes after the call was made.
I believe the first arriving on-duty engines arrived approximately 3 minutes after the initial page. They made entry into the 118.5 building and found heavy fire conditions. They were pushed out of that building, and we went to a proactive defensive position after that.
Through the early morning hours, fire crews fought to contain the fire, setting up a fire line in the neighboring building to keep it from spreading further through Winona's historic downtown district.
Our major concern was losing the block. The fire was spreading and jumping from cockloft to cockloft. The 122 building, we kind of made our stand, opened up walls, and stopped the fire spreading east. The building, the Brosnahan building, was actually previously a bank, so fire efforts in that building were extremely difficult just because it was a concrete roof and so forth.
3 buildings were destroyed in all. According to Biddle, the fire appeared to have been burning the longest at the Islamic Center location, where firemen found the roof had already collapsed upon arrival.
The Islamic Center, on arrival, the roof had actually collapsed prior to us making entry. So that it had been burning for some time, and it was spreading to the east through the cocklofts, attic areas.
Fighting a fire in an old downtown has its challenges. Biddle said the age of the buildings and the way they were constructed made fighting the fire difficult.
Downtown Winona, we have 100-plus-year-old buildings. The fire stops are brick and mortar, laid 100-plus years ago.
The only building with true historic significance to Winona was 116 Center Street. It was the early home of Merchants Bank. Biddle said he has been fighting fires for 21 years in Winona. He said this is one of the largest he remembers.
I've been a Winona firefighter for 21 years. I believe this is the first time we've actually had 4 aerial devices running in the city of Winona, the history of the Winona Fire Department. So it was quite a large fire. So.
Fire officials will be working with the State Fire Marshal's office to determine what caused the blaze. At this early stage of the investigation, Winona Police Chief Paul Bostrak said the investigation would be broad in scope and likely a lengthy one.
We will be looking into everything at this point, and it'll be a long, ongoing investigation.
Officials, including Chief Biddle, are relieved that the fire was able to be confined to just 3 buildings. Early on, Biddle said he didn't know if it was going to be the case.
Like I said, at one point I really thought we were going to lose the entire block. So to not have anybody get injured, that's the key. So.
While the loss of 3 buildings in Winona's downtown is significant, Winona Mayor Mark Peterson said it could have been much worse.
I just want to thank all the people involved for responding the way they did and all the hard work they did. And it could have been a lot worse than it was. It was a real coordinated effort. It's amazing to see the coordination that goes into this kind of response.
It may be some days before investigators know exactly what caused this fire, but until then, the cleanup continues.